My dad was so focused on becoming the perfect father to my stepsister that he accidentally left me at the mall in another state and went back home with her. I thought I was just another casualty of a messy divorce. However, one story my mom posted on Snapchat revealed something I didn't expect. Imagine being my father, you're just so caught up in your own life because you married a new woman. Now I have a stepmom and a stepsister, but you're so preoccupied with them that you forgot about me in a shopping mall 2 states away from our house. Nobody came to get me until you drove home and realized, oh my goodness, I forgot my daughter. Well, by then, it was too late because I had already told Grandma everything. I never thought I would ever find myself writing here, but life has a way of reminding you that you can't and won't always be in control. I have a bit of a dilemma, and it has caused trauma, so I need some advice and would like everyone's opinion and perspective. So, I'm 15F, and I've been living with my father for the past 3 years. Unfortunately, my mom filed for divorce 3.5 years ago, and I never got an explanation about why my mother just decided to divorce Dad and break up our family. My father's one condition was that he would have sole custody of me, which my mother shockingly agreed to. I have no ill feelings toward my mom despite not seeing her for over 3 years. We do talk from time to time, but it wasn't your typical mother-daughter relationship. However, my father always has something negative to say about my mom. He's constantly bashing her and loves comparing her to my stepmother, Jenna. It didn't take my father long to find someone else, you know, it never does. He and Jenna dated for about 3 months and then got married a month later. No one understood why my father was in such a rush to get married, especially since he had just gotten out of a long-term marriage. He claimed that he fell in love with Jenna at first sight and loved the kind of mother she was to her daughters, Joanne and Jenny. I know I'm the last person to judge or comment because I'm not a mother and only a teenager, but honestly, Jenna wasn't exactly Mother of the Year. She hardly ever spent time with my stepsisters and would spend her weekends shopping and pampering herself. She made it very clear to me that I shouldn't expect her to play a mother figure in my life, and I was 100% okay with it. What I was not okay with was how my father had changed. We used to be so close and do everything together, but now he spent all of his time and money on my stepsisters. He hardly made time for me, and his excuse was always that Joanne and Jenny grew up without a father and that he was trying to fill that void. My father has been neglecting me, and honestly, it's been really heartbreaking because there was no one I could talk to or turn to. I used to have a close relationship with my grandma, Alina, but after my father married Jenna, everything changed, and I haven't seen or heard from her since. We have each other on Facebook, but we hardly talk. My 16th birthday was coming up, and I wasn't excited about it. I was busy with my homework when my father came to tell me that dinner was ready. I told him I wasn't hungry because I knew Jenna had probably cooked a meal with meat, despite knowing that I'm a vegetarian. She never tried to accommodate me, so I always ended up making my own meals, which I didn't mind, but it would be nice if she could at least try. My father then told me that Jenna had spent the whole afternoon cooking dinner and that he would appreciate it if I showed her some appreciation. This led to an argument because I had to remind my father that I'm a vegetarian. He said I was just being difficult and that my being a vegetarian was just a phase. I brought up how neglectful he's been. I've been a vegetarian for the past 5 years, and this was something Jenna was well aware of. I asked my father to leave, and he responded by saying that I was difficult, just like my mother. Those words hurt, and my father noticed how my whole mood changed once he said that. He tried to apologize, but I told him I didn't want his apology. He eventually left me alone, and I continued with my work. Over the next few days, I noticed how my father was trying to apologize for what he said. He was being more attentive and attempted to spend more time with me, which I appreciated. I hardly ever got my father's attention, so I soaked up all this newfound attention, especially since it was the week of my birthday. I was shocked to find my father outside my school, waiting for me. I asked him what he was doing there, and he said he was taking me out for ice cream. The little girl in me screamed because this used to be one of our old traditions. He took me to our favorite spot, and we ordered our favorites. While we ate our ice cream, we started reminiscing about the good old days. My father then surprised me with a weekend road trip. He told me we'd be traveling to Seattle for my birthday. I was so excited because Seattle is one of my favorite cities. He said he had everything planned and that it would be just the two of us, which made me even happier. I honestly couldn't wait. I couldn't remember the last time I'd gone on a trip with just my father. The week went by fast, and it was finally Friday. My birthday was the next day. My father had called my school to let them know that I would be absent. While I was getting ready, I noticed that my stepsisters were also getting ready. Once I was done, my father came into my room to get my suitcase, and that's when he broke the sad news to me, and my heart actually shattered into a million pieces. My father told me that our bonding trip was now a family trip. He explained that my stepmother wanted all of us to celebrate my 16th birthday since it was such a milestone. I asked him if we could celebrate as a family after he and I went on our trip. He told me that everyone was already packed and ready to go and that it wouldn't be fair to ask them to stay behind. So, we all left for Seattle. I was sour throughout the whole trip. My father tried his best to make small talk with me, but I ignored him and acted like I was listening to music through my AirPods. I overheard my stepsisters talking about how all their friends would be super jealous that they were in Seattle for the weekend. We arrived at our Airbnb and got settled in. While I was scrolling through my phone, my father came into my room and told me we were going to grab a few burgers for dinner. I immediately lost my appetite because, beforehand, my father and I discussed checking out a few popular vegetarian-friendly restaurants. I started to complain, rightfully so, and he told me to stop acting like a spoiled child and a brat and that he wasn't going to allow my sour mood to ruin the trip. We exchanged a few more heated words, and he stormed out, yelling that I should order my dinner on Uber Eats with his credit card. And I did exactly that. Now, here I am, feeling really low. This is why I've turned to the internet for some insights on the whole situation. In your opinions, do I have the right to be annoyed with my father? I mean, he never once discussed having my stepmother and stepsisters just tag along. I'm starting to wonder and question if my father even wants me here anymore. What do you guys think?